Right, so we're now indoors at Superbooth at a very, very warm Oberheim stand. TEO-5 has just been announced. It's been announced yesterday, today. So
it's
fresh.
Hot off the press, yeah.
Lovely stuff.
It's really nice because, you know, there were some murmurings about this product for a little while, a couple of weeks now. So it's such a relief to be able to actually tell people what the heck this thing actually is.
Absolutely. So we're going to do a bit of a talk through and a bit of a playthrough to show you what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Fantastic. Cheers, Chris.
Okay. So here it is, TEO-5. The first thing to say is it's an Oberheim, and the name TEO is actually Thomas Elroy Oberheim. So it's an Oberheim synth, which always has his name on it, but actually this is his name, the TEO. It's a 5-voice analog poly synth with VCOs and VCF, so voltage controlled oscillators, voltage controlled filter. The filter is the SEM filter, and this is, I think, really kind of where the sort of the magic of the instrument is, really. It's a 2-pole, state variable, non-resonant filter. And with it being non-resonant, you can get the resonance right up there, and it just really screams, and it's just got this lovely, lovely kind of flavour to it, very typical Oberheim flavour. Let's get to a patch. Let's see what we've got. If I go to bank 2, I've got this nice. We'll go for this one. This is nice kind of string sort of sound. Get the filter open there. Get it back into the low pass, bring the resonance up. And you can hear that filter really bright there with the resonance right away. We've got, state variable, so we can go into the notch area. And you can hear the resonance is right the way up, but it's not resonating, it's not oscillating. It's got that lovely chewy kind of flavour to it, I think. And of course that filter can be best shown with this particular patch. So this is the kind of a typical famous famous Oberheim stump patch there. But it's got the Oberheim sound, but it's got a lot of modern functions in there as well. So we've actually got FM here. We've got cross mod. Now, typically, cross mod is what we would call exponential FM, taking one oscillator and modulating the first oscillator with that. But this is actually through zero FM in here, so this has quite a different flavour to it. In fact, if I go to, let's see, it's this patch here, which actually I set up the other day. I've just we're on 2 triangle waves here. And if I use the through zero FM, you can hear that kind of, it's kind of giving you that typical sort of FM sort of sound, but it's staying nicely in tune. And if you compare that to the exponential cross modulation, which I've put here on the mod wheel, you can hear how that really starts to knock the tuning out. It starts to have that effect. So the through zero there is a really nice thing to have on there. That's the first time we've seen through zero for FM on an Oberheim synth. Let's go to make a basic patch here, I think. That's what we'll do. I'm just going to go to my menu. I should say we've got this program menu here. This is like the page 2 on the OBX8. This is giving us our, additional functions. We've got loads of things in here like LFO slew, envelope repeats, a delay for both envelopes as well, unison detune, all the sort of other additional bits in here. Obviously, there's a lot going on the top panel here with the, with the controls that we have, but there's some extra deeper functionality in there. Now, here we go, just a standard sawtooth initial patch. I'm going to bring in oscillator 2. Maybe I'll just bring that up a fifth. Perhaps oscillator 2 is just a little bit too loud. Now you can see we don't have a dedicated mixer area with their own dedicated pots, but if I press and hold oscillator 2, I can just bring the level down for that oscillator. There we go. And it's the same for the sub as well. If I click sub in, I can just bring that level down. The sub is a square, feeding off oscillator 1. Now on the oscillators as well, I should say we've got switches for the wave shapes. If you're familiar with OB6, you know, you'll have a kind of a continuously variable wave shape control. It's a bit different here on TEO because we can have all three if we want, or you know, just make a combination as we wish between them. So you get a pretty complex waveform going on there. We stick all of them on, detune a bit. There's a lot going on, very harmonically rich sound there, and then of course we can get that filter to play now. So there we go on the low pass. Of course, it's 2-pole, and it's just kind of nice sort of relatively calm slope on there. But when we crank up the resonance, you can hear that there. Now we use the state variable here. We can open up into the notch filter. And I really love this notch filter. Again, you know, I can kind of maybe I'll just add a bit of LFO to the cutoff. So I just hit destination here in my LFO section. So that's going to now take the LFO, and I'm just going to move the cutoff pot down here. So by just moving that, we've made the connection between that LFO and that cutoff. Now I can just, well, I don't even need to use this one. I can use this amount, dedicated amount knob. Just bring that down a bit, and now. So, yeah, I mean, that's quite a big sound already, but yeah, well, let's make it bigger. It's going to go over here to my reverb. And yeah, we've got a dedicated set of controls for reverb, and we've also got an effects set up at the top here. Now, this is multi-effects. So if I grab the type control, you can see in the bottom right corner of the screen here all the various different effects that I've got going on. We've got rotary speaker, lo-fi, ring modulation, distortion, high pass filter, lots of stuff going on. I like to go on the delay. Let's just take that LFO off, and let's just make a nice snappy sort of. Now, if I get my feedback on full, put the mix on full. Gets kind of almost kind of car plussy sort of style. Let's take the reverb off. Now that's nice, but let's say I wanted to get a bit clever with this, and I want to start to control the time with perhaps the keyboard to try and get a kind of a nice car plus strong style sound. So I can hit the mod source, and if I just tap the key, it's going to give me my key controls, and you can just tap through them here. Of course, note number is the one that I want. Again, going to hit destination, hit the time here, effects time, and now I can put an amount in. Actually, let's get that on full. So now we've got a crazy car plus strong style sound, which is good fun to play with. Yeah. What else do we have on here? I mean, it's just a lot of stuff going on. But I say really the kind of the top line is that it's that Oberheim sound with the SEM filter. Tom was pretty keen to make sure that this is exactly right from the original schematics. So this is the SEM filter. We've got these oscillators with this new through zero FM available, but then of course we've got all this kind of nice modern stuff on the top, 2 LFOs, the modulation matrix as well, all the additional stuff that you can find in the settings page, including things like, for example, we've got the ability to, instead of have a notch filter, we can turn it into band pass, and now of course, well, I'll just take that off a little. What have we got going on here? There we go, we've got our band pass. Let's get them. So we've got a load of additional stuff in here as well. So yeah, really great sounding instruments, 5-voice, analog Oberheim with a modern twist to it. So yeah, that's really the TEO-5.
Fantastic. Well, thanks very much.
My
and
pleasure.
of course, the all-important questions.
Of course.
When's it going to be available? How much is it going to cost
I wonder what
us?
the all-important question would be. I should have guessed, of course, now. We're hoping that this is going to hit the stores July this year. Yeah, probably a month and a half or so away from now. And in terms of price, in dollars, I think we're $14.99.
Yeah.
£14.99, and then in euros, I think it's $16.99.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Chris, thanks very much.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.